Turn to page IP40 entitled Chemical Bonds ECQs. Write down your 5 ECQ questions on the left side of this page. Remember, the right side is for answers later. Chemical bonds is a title for page IP41. No, you do not need to draw the picture, but this is there to show you how electrons are moving around the atom. Remember, we talked about orbitals, which are where the blue electrons are spinning around in this picture. And the very center nucleus is where your protons and neutrons are. Set up your page Cornell style on page 41. Title is Chemical Bonds, and set up for your Cornell notes for essential questions, notes, questions, vocab, and summary at the bottom. The essential question is, when do electrons form ionic and covalent bonds? Number 1, electrons on the outer orbital are important because they make chemical bonds. In this picture, it shows electrons from hydrogen, which are red, connecting with the electrons from carbon, which are blue, and they make a chemical bond. And that's how carbon and hydrogens are stuck together. This makes CH4 or methane gas, which is found in your homes. It's the same gas that's found often in your stovetops, that blue fire. And you do not need to draw this picture. Number 2, compounds are 2 or more different atoms that are chemically combined or bonded. We should know this definition from before. Compounds are made through a chemical change. Now that you know what a chemical change is, you know that when 2 things come together and they're stuck together, it makes something new and different, and this is important to remember. For example, table salt is made from 1 sodium and chlorine stuck together. Methane, 1 carbon, and 4 little red hydrogens here stuck together. Water is made from 1 oxygen atom and 2 hydrogen atoms stuck together. These are just examples. You do not need to draw. Compounds are made from the elements, or different from the elements that make them. So like H2O, water is a liquid made from 2 invisible gases, hydrogen and oxygen. Sodium chloride, which is salt, is safe to eat, but it was made originally from 2 poisonous and reactive elements. But once they're stuck together, it makes a chemical bond, which is a chemical change, and it makes something new, and it's safe for us to eat. This is a picture of the salt crystal. You do not have to draw, but you can just see how they're arranged together. An ionic bond is when a metal and nonmetal bond together. This happens when electrons are transferred. So for example, sodium metal and chloride metal below, or chloride nonmetal. You can draw this and label in your notes. You might even want to use 2 different colors like highlighters or colored pencils to show the 2 different sides. Sodium is a metal and it gives an electron to chlorine right here. Boom! Right. Chlorine is a nonmetal and it takes an electron from sodium. Okay. So therefore, electrons are transferred during an ionic bond. It's either given away or taken from one atom to the other. Oh, you don't have to draw this. This is just for fun. The name's bond, ionic bond. Taken, not shared. So they don't share electrons, they take electrons, or they give them away. Ionic bonds also form crystal-shaped molecules. Crystals are a 3D cube shaped in a regular repeating pattern lattice structure. Okay, repeating crystal lattice structure. So examples, salt and rock candy, which is made of sugar, are all made of crystals. Yes, now you draw and label this salt crystal on the right. As you see, it's a cube shape and they're stuck together in a regular pattern. They're not all over the place. They're in a nice, neat order. And of course, these are solids. Covalent bonds are when 2 nonmetals actually bond together and the electrons are shared. So this is different from an ionic bond. They share their electrons. For example, hydrogen and hydrogen makes hydrogen gas, which is actually 2 hydrogen atoms stuck together. Yes, draw and label this picture. You can see here there's 2 different hydrogen atoms, but these 2 electrons in the middle come together and they're shared to make H2 gas, or hydrogen gas. This is the hydrogen gas in the air around you right now. Covalent bonds also form Covalent bonds also form polymers. Polymers are long repeating string-like molecules or chain. So for example, nylon, silk, and wool, and even DNA are in long chains. So those are called polymers. Some are shorter chains, some are longer chains. This picture shows the atoms that make up DNA. lots and lots of hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, and phosphorus atoms. And this is in their DNA in all your cells right now in your body. And this makes a long polymer. DNA is a long string of molecules. Polymers are made from covalent bonds. Remember, crystals are made mostly from ionic bonds, but polymers are made from covalent bonds. You do not need to draw this picture, it's just there to show you all the parts. Now review your notes, go back and highlight vocabulary, definitions, and facts. You may make a key for vocabulary, definitions, and facts. When you're done, you will create questions. You may use any of the following words to make questions. Some examples are define, name, compare or contrast, describe, how, why, and which. Do not use what questions. And when you're done, write any vocabulary terms in the bottom left corner. Your summary must answer the essential question, which was, when do electrons form ionic and covalent bonds? And that's it for your notes. Thank you very much.